All right. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's open forum. Very excited to see you all in here today. Lots of cameras on. You guys are looking great. Let's get started. What did you guys see when you put your home address in there? Nothing. You should have seen something. Yes, Tammy.
I have to register my address.
Me too. Other people do not. Carissa does not. Angie, do you have to register yours or no?
It just says it could not be found or verified. Please verify. Is that what you mean?
No, it should have said, well, I put the office address in and it said that. So some will say that, but who else put theirs in? Anybody else try it? Mandy, what did it say? If you enter meet the requirements for registration. Yes, mine too. I'd have to register mine as well. So does Tammy, so does whatever, right? So what that tells us is we're within those things. I did not send, but I'm going to send to you guys a link of what explains the thing perfectly.
Do you think, does that mean that if it doesn't find my address, it doesn't have to be registered, or you still?
I would still check with an attorney, but you know it does if it says that. But
Okay,
I mean,
so like
obviously you don't have to register, but if one of your
somebody's
clients is on the list, then they would have to register that property. But I have had a bunch of you guys ask me these things.
Where do
I
you
put in an address over near MacDill Air Force Base in South Tampa, and it says this property address you entered meets the requirement for registration. If you are a foreign principal, please register this property here.
Right, and mine says that too, and I have no idea why. So I'm within 10 miles of something or 5 miles of something else. I'm going to put in the chat the link. So it is not called SB 264 anymore now that it's a law. It's called a statute. The one that I put into the yeah. So Iqbal says that too. I just put something in chat, but I don't see it. So yeah, mine says that too. I don't know why it's doing that. It's not letting me post that link. So there's a link to it. I don't know why it's not letting me post the link. Here, let me do this. I'll put this in here. There's a oh, it's not. I don't know why it's not letting me do that. Let me try it this way. So there's it is the statute number that I put on the thing that now, and I'm seeing. I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and maybe you can do this. In a second, guys, my screen should come up here and show us the actual statute. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So here he is. You see it 692.203. And this explains it. This is from the Florida statutes. Now, there's still ongoing litigation and all this stuff and everything. And I've been telling you guys, when you do ask me these questions, how do I know? They just need to talk to an attorney. You are not the final judgment on this. You do not want people buying or choosing not to register their properties. It is better to over-register than under-register. So if they're not sure, try to register it. But that thing that I sent you is an actual link to register the property if you have an owner who has not done that yet. They're going to start being fined daily for this. Actually, they did start being fined on February 1st daily. It was supposed to be by December 31st. Then they got 30 days grace period or whatever. So they started getting fined on January 31st or February 1st. I think it's $500 a day or something. They started getting fined if they did not register it. So they need to register it immediately. Yes, Tammy.
Did they send notice out to people that were?
It's up to the owner.
So, I mean, I guess these people that are from these other countries are aware of this to register? Like, how would they have been informed, I wonder?
Don't know.
Yeah,
Don't know. It was rolled out pretty quickly. So as we know. So that is a great link for you guys to go to. That is something we recently discovered. I don't know how long it's
actually,
been.
that link, I just put that link in and it didn't bring anything up.
What
The one,
link?
the one in the chat?
Oh, did it come up in the chat? I didn't see
Oh,
it.
wait. Maybe I put too much in.
Well, it posted 5 times. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
that's probably why.
I kept trying to post it. It wasn't showing on my
Yeah.
end. Now I see it. I put 1, 2, 3, 4 times.
Yeah.
I posted it. Yeah, just
Okay.
pick one of those. It shouldn't be a bunch of them. But that's the page that I'm on right now.
Okay, got it.
That's what I mean. If you look at the top, it's exactly the same. So that's funny. It wasn't showing on my end. So yeah, I tried 4 times, I guess. So that's what's going on with that. And I've been telling you guys to talk to an attorney. That is attorney's gonna you have your clients talk to an attorney. You do not want to be involved in that decision-making process. That's what I'm getting at with that. Any questions on that? Yes, Daniel.
What about if you recommend them to do consult with an attorney and they go on and they don't do it or anything like that? Would I still be responsible? Let's say something happens.
No. If people do things when you always want to put people toward a tax professional or legal professional when it comes to any tax related thing, or in this case, a legal related thing. No, that absolves you as long as you have in writing that you directed them to those people. If they continue to do something, now they're still going to have to sign an affidavit and do all kinds of stuff if they're buying something. They're still going to have to sign an affidavit, and you are just helping them with this to register their property out of customer service. Especially if you sold them the property, it's much better customer service to let them know how to register it, and you probably should have already let them know how to register it. But if you have not done that with your clients, I know a lot of you have sold to Venezuelans, Chinese, Cubans, all kinds of people. You need to follow up with those people and make sure they're registering their property. They'll appreciate you for it. And let them know, send them some clips, some news clips and stuff of when this all happened, and that you didn't have any control over it, you didn't see it coming, etc. when you sold them the property. But now anyone who wants to buy in these areas, so this is a good link. The whole point of this also is it's a good link to run through before you guys have asked me, if I want to buy something in Claremont or in Oviedo or whatever, is it within those boundaries? Well, a lot of it is going to be. Like I'm in Winter Garden, my house is, and I don't know why. Carissa lives in Oviedo, and she does not have to register her house. So Beatrice.
Yes, hi, good morning. Can you hear me?
Oh yes, good morning.
Good morning. So I have a question in regards to dual citizenship. So what about if someone is Venezuelan, but they're also U.S. citizens?
My
Still
understanding,
apply?
no, there's no limitations on U.S. citizens. That's my understanding. If they're a U.S. citizen, they have absolutely every right that every other U.S. citizen has.
So if a Venezuelan came here and became a citizen, that does not apply to them.
If they're already a citizen, I know for a fact. I mean, have them talk to a lawyer, but I know for a fact that they're fine if they're already a citizen. Now, if they're in progress or whatever, I think it still applies to them.
Okay,
if they're here
perfect.
for asylum or they're in the process somehow, but not a citizen, I think it still applies to them until they're a citizen.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
But again, talk to an attorney. But I happen to know that we did discuss that any U.S. citizen is
Okay.
cannot
Perfect.
be restricted.
All right. Thank you for the clarification.
But if there's any question at all, if someone is, they go get their citizenship next week, can they put it under contract today, kind of thing? Talk to an attorney. And guys, attorneys aren't going to know off the top of their head what this is doing, because this is all new for attorneys too. Even real estate attorneys, they're learning this as we go. But you have taken it out of your hands and put it to the hands of a legal professional, and they will always have that. That's like a shield for you. It's covering your you're covering all your bases, let's say. Any other questions? If you guys, a quick rundown again of the countries of origin: China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, Cuba, Venezuela, Syria. All right. And so even some within those countries won't apply to this law or whatever. They need to talk to an attorney. Okay. Any other questions for that? Awesome. All right, we're going to stop sharing and let's stop sharing our screen and start sharing what's going on in the market. What do you guys have going on out there? What are you seeing? Anybody?
It might be picking up a little. I don't know. For me, it is kind of.
Yep. I think you're right. And I think Jika's right in the chat. He says slow. It is slow, but it is picking up a little. And I can tell because mortgage applications are picking up, which means buyers are moving around, milling around slowly. Like a scene from The Walking Dead where they first wake up and start milling around aimlessly. But that seems like that's what's going on. I'm seeing tons of days on market for all kinds of stuff, even ones that, you know, a couple of years ago we've been on the market for 10 minutes, are now on the market for 60 days. I'm seeing, yeah, Christina or Beatrice, I don't know if your hand is still up or if you have a new one or whatever, but Beatrice first, then Christina. Okay, Christina.
Okay, sorry to unmute myself. I would say to the agents, like, make sure you're reaching out to your past clients, because I had an appointment, like a pre-list appointment with some clients. I stayed in touch with them for 10 years and now they're gonna sell and buy with me. But they were like, oh, we were thinking of calling you around the holidays, but we didn't want to bother you. And I'm like, what? You're not bothering me, call me. So I think there's a lot of people that have just been like, and I had another customer that we looked at a few things last year and they just were not in love with the interest rates and they kind of wanted to wait and see. I think a lot of people were waiting to see, expecting some sort of a crash. And now people are kind of seeing rates are going down, home prices are not going to crash. And so I think there's a lot of people on the sidelines that are slowly but surely making their way into the market. So I would definitely tell people, like, just call a few people every day. That's the only thing you do. I think you'll probably get some sales from that, because people are out there. They're making their moves slowly but surely.
That is a great idea. And guys, this makes a couple of great points there, Christina. And I love the I was afraid I would bother you kind of thing for a realtor. And Christina is, I'm going to pick on a lot of you guys because you're guilty of this, but Christina is not guilty of this. And that is keeping up your social media game, keeping up your contacting your clients, keeping up with all that stuff. If they haven't seen Christina's social media, but trust me, I have. And she's active on there. And I know that it would not be bothering her to contact her about real estate, because I see how active she is on social media saying, contact me about real estate. You guys have got to do a better job, not you, Christina, but you guys have got to do a better job of that, about reaching these people, because there are a lot of you that are going to lose business because they're just not thinking about you, or they're not, they don't know you're still in the game, because Christina helped them 10 years ago. They don't know what Christina's doing now. So because they're simply somehow not being reached by her social media. But keep people in the game and contact them. Can anybody think of why they might want to contact somebody within the next, I don't know, 8 days?
Homestead exemption.
Homestead exemption. Great reason to contact anyone who bought with you last year, or anyone who bought with you previously. Just making sure you guys, I know you bought 2 years ago, but just making sure you got your homestead exemption last year. I know I contacted you about it, blah, 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 right? Great reason to contact somebody. Anyone who bought with you last year, great reason to contact them. What else are we seeing out there? So it's a little slow. we know things are picking up. And oh, another thing I wanted to talk about. Yes, I've been telling you guys, I think there's so much pent up demand out there that once rates drop to a reasonable level, people are going to go nuts. And then we're going to have again, lenders going nuts because all these people who bought with the 7% rates over the last couple of years are going to want to refi when it gets down in the fives, when anytime that it makes sense. You know, they're going to do the evaluation of, it's going to cost me $6,000 to refi, but I'm going to save $300 a month. How long am I going to have to stay in this house for that to make sense, kind of thing, right? So they're going to do all that, and then they're going to refi. So there's going to be a big crunch on appraisers again. There's going to be a big crunch on lenders again when it comes time to do that. Not so much surveyors, but all the things that we take for granted in this market that gets done quickly when you do have a contract is not going to be. I mean, you guys remember a couple of years ago trying to get an appraiser, trying to get a lender, trying to get everybody lined up and inspectors. Well, now you can get them. You can have an inspection. You can do a 3-day inspection period, no problem. You can do your appraisal is going to be done in a week and a half, and you know closings are going to be quick. Underwriting is going to be quick. Everything's going to be quick right now because things are slow. But when things pick back up, it's going to be like that again. So we miss those days as much as we don't miss those days. So any other observations about the market? Tell me what's going on out there. This is mandatory that you tell me.
I see inventory picking up, which is great. More listings and more options for buyers.
And that's going to pick up too. Buyers and sellers are both going to pick up. So it's going to be great when the rates drop. Like I said, our biggest hurdle out there right now is why would I sell my house where I'm at 3.25 and go to go buy something at 7, at 6 3/4. I'd be insane to do that, right? Unless I have a life event. You guys, when you have somebody, a seller, when you have something, it's because they have a life event right now. So they don't have much choice, but people aren't moving just to get in a better school district right now because it's just not worth it. So they're not moving just for a little bit of status because it's just not worth it. But they will for a major life event. Any other, I love it when I'm in here and agents call me. Any other, if they just knew what I was doing right now. Any other questions or comments? I'm sitting here begging for questions and they're calling me. Yes, credit repair. Yes, great point. That's tough. 3 clients in credit repair. They'll get it done. Credit, listen, lenders, now's the time. We had Tom on here 2 weeks ago talking about, bring me your tired, your huddled masses, your needy, your 530 credit scores, bring me whatever. And lenders have been lowering their requirements. So because they're hungry, right? When they get desperate, they start lowering their requirements. When everything's great, they start raising their requirements. So right now, Tom was telling us the other day, he can do, I used to turn away the 580s. Now I can help him. Now I think he said he can go to 550 now and stuff like that. So, keep that in mind too. Christina, did you raise your hand again or is that still up?
Yeah, a couple of things. I was going to say, I'm curious if everybody else is seeing this too. Last few deals I've done, I've either had a cash buyer or a cash buyer has come in on one of my listings. So I'm still seeing a lot of cash. And I thought I went to the FR convention in January and the real estate trends panel. That's kind of one of the things that they were talking about. They had AARP, they had a bunch of people there. They had, I think the chief economist for UCF. And they're saying, what do we have, like a net 1,011 people that move here every day? It's just still so much cash. And, I have friends that moved out of state and they're like, we're probably going to stay here another 6 months and then we want to come back. So I'm seeing a lot of cash. And another thing, I just wanted to throw out there on the social media thing. We're coming up on, the first of a new month. Just something that everybody might want to try if they're, if they have social media accounts, just sort of reintroduce yourself. You could do a video, you could do a post, and, just let people know some information about who you are, what you do. Just that's something some people will do on the first of the month, but good way to kind of relaunch your social media presence if you haven't been doing it or if you've just been doing it sporadically.
That is awesome. Natalie, sharing your that's great. That reminded me of something, Christina. Share your successes with not because of how great you are, for your clients, the ones who get their credit repaired and buy something, the ones that you've helped through a difficult deal with, obviously without sharing their name or any other information about them, but just say, what you've done with a client. Just kind of explain those things in your videos and your however you want to do that. Not, again, you are not the hero. Just explain how you worked them through it and that it can be done. Natalie's fighting with three clients in credit repair right now. That's fantastic, though. You know what? A year from now, you'll be glad you did, because you'll have 3 closings, or at least 2, right? As much as it hurts, I wish you had 30 clients in credit repair right now. We don't value those as much because they don't pay next month's light bill, but they pay next year's light bill. And it's a great way to build a pipeline. And they have friends, and when they tell their friends what you did for them, they need 3 or 4 months to buy right when it gets crazy. I hope it does get crazy in 3 to 4 months. I don't know if it's going to be that quick, but that's great. That's fantastic. I hope it does get crazy, because that'll mean there'll be more inventory for them too, though, because people will start putting their houses on the market when they want to buy something else. Right now, everybody's afraid to buy something else because of interest rates. But I absolutely love that, and I wish you had 30 people in credit repair, as much as you may hear me say that. But that is building a pipeline. That is how you do it. We get a little short-sighted, and we discount people because we all have pressure, guys. We all have bills to pay, and we get a little bit short-sighted because these people that we farm, and these people that's why you guys don't want to farm. You don't want to do a social media campaign. It doesn't pay off immediately. It pays off down the road. You're building a career here, guys. You're not just trying to make it to next year. I know a lot of you are trying to make it to next year, but you're also building a career, and these things come. Can you imagine the difference? You guys have all had people, and you ask them to write reviews, and they're like, yeah, I needed a house, and Angie helped me. She sent me stuff. She showed me houses. She helped me. And you guys know when this is. You guys know the easy clients. You guys know the ones that you just take out and show a few houses, and they're plenty qualified, and they put down 20%, and they buy the house, and they could have used anybody. And then the ones that you work through, and these are the ones that hurt you when they pick somebody else the next time. But you guys know the ones that you helped, and not many people would have been there for them the whole time, and not many people would have helped them. Those are your best reviews. Those are your best referral people. And that's what Natalie's going to have when she works these people through credit repair. And 2 of the 3, and I hope all 3, Natalie, but I'm just saying 2 of the 3 buy a house in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year, whatever it is. That's going to be great referrals for her. Those are people going to tell their friends, this woman did everything. She went to the ends of the earth for me. Yes, Christina Rordum.
I was just curious what people were doing in terms of emailing their database. Because I'm trying to really, I'm great with keeping in contact with people on social and just, by phone and stuff. But I'm trying to get a little bit better with, maybe doing a newsletter and having emails go out to my database. I signed up for something called Flowdesk, FLO Desk. So when I do like deliveries at the holidays and stuff, I use it for that, send an email out to everybody. I'm just curious, I know there's been some changes with the email guidelines and spam and all of that. What's everybody using? Does anybody use any sort of service like Constant Contact or anything like that? Do you guys do any regular emails to your database?
Okay, I want to point out something on that. The spam stuff. If you guys have legitimately done business with these people, and they've been you've had interaction with them at some time, they should have agreed somehow to be on a list. But otherwise, you can prove that you did business, but you're not going to have a lot of spam problems. If you're just picking out, if you buy a list or something, you're going to have spam problems. Even if people are reporting you for spam, but you've had a lot of interaction with them. First of all, if you've had some kind of email interaction with them, you're going to go to their inbox and not directly to their spam. They can still report you, but you're not going to have that hard of a time. So your database should be okay if you're running a clean database and not you buy leads, but not buying email addresses. But great question. So who else is doing that? I saw somebody talked about it a couple weeks ago about something. They put it in chat of what they're using. Does anybody recall that? What do you guys use for a lot of people CRMs are doing it. What are you guys using?
My CRM does so much that I don't really do any extra kind of mailing campaigns, but my CRM's been really kind of set it and forget it, which is really nice. Depending on what type of lead I add in there, if they're a website property search and buyer, then it sends an automated campaign out about buying information. Or if they're a seller lead that I add to the system from any other sources, then it does automated emails to them based on that, on what their category is. So I haven't really done much more other ones. But we
What's
haven't.
your CRM?
Real Geeks.
Okay.
And they just do it automatically. Like I don't even have to turn on, like they do have workflows where you can assign a list of emails to go out to them. But then anybody who I do Google pay-per-click ads now. So I have a campaign running and it's directing traffic to my website. So when people go on there and are looking at houses or click on one of my ads to go to my website to look at houses, then it adds them to the CRM and it starts the campaign going on with them. And that's just kind of like buying and selling general information. It's not like a newsletter or anything like that. I've done those in the past. They just have been really time consuming. So I just haven't done them anymore. Do I know the price on Real Geeks? I don't know exactly. It's kind of grouped up with a bunch of different things that I have. I think it's around $300 a month, I want to say. But it depends on how many users you have on it also, because I use it for my team. And I do the pay-per-click ads through them too. So I pay for that separately.
I'm going to jump in here with companies like Real Geeks, other companies. They'll do websites, they'll do CRMs, they'll do leads, they'll do all kinds of stuff that you can, so you can pick and choose. You can get a CRM for, I don't know what you guys are seeing out there, 35, 45 bucks a month for just a CRM. But when you start adding different things, more users, all that kind of stuff, that's why she gets up to 300 a month. I don't know, are they doing your website too, Angie?
Yeah, they do my website and my CRM and multiple users, and they have ponds where the leads that come in go out to different agents. So it's organized that way. And then all the website marketing. I think that's all. It does. Oh no, I also have an AI that when somebody signs up on my website, it sends them a text and they communicate with the AI like it's a real person. It's pretty crazy.
That's
So I pay for the AI service too.
just my personal opinion. 300 bucks a month is a good deal for that.
No, it's been great. It's been worth every penny. It's been, people, I could see when people open up my email, it says email sent, it says email open, they reply to it. I can go and reach out to them when they open my email. I don't have to stalk them every day, just when they're interested in stuff.
Do you think, how many deals a year do you think that gets you?
Well, it depends, because if it's kind of a combination, right? Because it's the Google pay-per-click ads that are driving traffic to my website and then getting people to sign up for my CRM. It keeps me very organized, and it has reminders for me to follow up, like Christina was saying, with your past clients. It keeps me following up with them. So I'm 5 to 10 deals a year are coming from me using the CRM and being organized, at least.
And that's at least, right? So
Mhm.
you think that covers $3,600?
Absolutely, 100%. And then the Google ads are paying for themselves too, with more.
Yeah, it's completely impossible to quantify, but that was kind of my point. It does wonders for your business, and I highly recommend you guys do something like that. Look, we don't have mandatory monthly fees, and we don't have we give you 100% of your commission back. Use that to grow your business. Use that to have a nice website and a nice CRM and a nice this and that. I mean, you guys, you're in business. I know I get on you guys about this all the time. The minute you got your real estate license, you're in business. Whether you do it actively or passively or however you choose to do it, you're in business. What do you want to make of it? Do you want, if you're sitting here on a Wednesday morning in this chat, you want to make something of it. So make something of it. And you do have to invest in your business. And I always use the hot dog stand as an example. You can't just start a hot dog stand without buying equipment and advertising yourself and doing that. And when you sell some hot dogs, you got to buy more hot dogs. You got to, better yourself, and you've got to keep putting into your business. You've got to keep expanding and growing and investing in your own business. And so do that. We pretend that we took 10% or 20% or 30% or whatever other brokerages are taking, and spend that money on yourself, on growing your business. And that's what Angie's done beautifully. And a lot of you guys have done beautifully, and I love it. But it makes it very worthwhile. And there is no way to quantify what that what that very small amount, and I know Angie done bigger stuff before. Angie spent a lot more before, I know, with different things. And a lot of you guys have with Boomtown and Sync and all these other ones. You've spent a lot more money, and with varying results, some great and some not as great, but a lot of that is personal things. So Angie's worked with several companies I know are a handful, and kind of figure out what works for her, and you need to do the same. But that's why we share that information here. And Angie, I really appreciate you sharing that. Who else has got a question or comment? What are you seeing out there? I'm getting a lot of questions on that thing that we talked about. I'm getting questions on, is there a true source to trust when pricing your listings? Yeah, do a CRM, and it's on you. There's not a direct, there is not a direct thing. I mean, you can't know RPR, know that. I mean, nobody's going to give you an exact amount. Just go with the Zestimate. I'm kidding. Do not ever go with the Zestimate.
I was like, what?
No, seriously, run your own.
He's making sure we're all awake.
Yeah, just making sure.
Like, did Ryan just have a stroke? What happened?
No, but always be aware of this estimate so you can fight that battle when you go talk to them. No, so there's so much to this, and we'll do a CRM class. We'll do a
You
thing.
keep saying CRM.
Pardon me?
You keep saying CRM because we were talking about those. You mean CMA?
CMA, sorry. We'll do a CMA class. And what there's so much more to it than just the numbers. And do you guys feel like you can give a CMA without seeing the house, walking around in the house? I don't think you can, right? You can't give them a number. You can do a CMA, sorry. Anybody do the CMA is not the thing, but a real valuation of it, find a real listing price. You can't. It's part CMA. It's part what's going on in there. I saw somebody ask me to help them with one recently, and there were 7 houses for sale on that street, active for sale on that street. They had 1 sale in the last 6 months go through, nothing pending, 7 active homes on that one street. It was a big, long, winding street, but all within the quarter mile. I did the quarter mile, all within a quarter mile, same street name, different numbers, all 3,800 or 3,900 addresses, right? All over the board with, 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom, 3-bedroom, all over the board with pricing, all active. 7 active, 1 sold in the last 6 months. What do you think their CMA, how much is that CMA going to drive their pricing? They've got a lot of problems. And back when the market was really hot, your CMAs were all low because there was nothing available and people were overpaying. So, I mean, it was going up before. If I did a CMA today, by the time I met them on next Tuesday, it was their value had gone up $5,000, so it's hard to say. Christina.
I saw Curator. I think they do real estate websites, et cetera, like what we've been talking about. But I saw they posted something, and it's a pretty good lead gen idea. I haven't done it, but somebody else did it and had some success. Send a letter out or an email out to your database, or call people, just whatever, even post something. But this was where they sent an email out to their database, and they said, hey, if you want to know how much equity you've gained since you purchased your home, and you can include a link, they could say, or you could just have them reply. And so that was something where they sent that out to their database, and they got some listings from that. Just put it like that, find out how much equity you have.
I love that because I love the wording of that, and I think that's things that drive people, motivating factors for people. Sales is the transference of emotion, and the emotions people have is fear of loss and hope of gain. Those are your biggest ones: fear of loss and hope of gain, and that you're telling them what they've gained. And I love that because that's kind of a what's in it for me, which is sales 101. What's in it for me? That's what people want to know. Benefits versus features. You tell people features all day, but they want to know the benefits. What's in it for me? And that's what they want to know, because if you say, find out your home valuation, that sounds like a sales pitch to sell their house. But if you say, how much equity do you have now? How much have you gained in equity since you purchased your house? I love the wording of that. And I think that will draw people. I think that's great. And I think a lot of people don't know exactly how much they owe anyway. But those of us who are our realtors kind of pay more attention to that, to our balance, what our payoff would be, than a lot of people. But I love that idea.
Real quick too, like talking about the Zestimate, I mean, I have a conspiracy theory. I think they purposely put low Zestimates so that you want to sell to their new partner Opendoor for whatever 70 cents on the dollar or whatever they're going to offer you. But my Zestimate is 80K lower than what I'm quite confident I could sell my house, and it's always like that, you know. So that's just, I don't know, throw that out. It's always, the Zestimates are always low. I don't know if everybody's seeing that.
I've seen both sides of that. I don't know. I've seen both sides. I've seen ridiculously high ones too. And I know one thing that Redfin does. Redfin sends out emails giving them ridiculously high estimates of value, and then they have their agent and tell them to contact their agent and sell it for them. And so they're just roping people in with nonsense and then breaking the bad news to them. Oh, well, you guys don't have a swimming pool, you know, whatever. So it's worth 100,000 less than what we sent you, you know, just ridiculous stuff. Mandy's posted something there. Angie.
Yeah, with the Zestimate thing, one thing that I know for a fact is that if someone lists their house at a certain price and then it doesn't sell, the Zestimate changes once you list the house. So I work with a lot of expired listings. So I'm seeing that happen a lot where somebody will list their house, they'll overprice it, it doesn't sell. The Zestimate goes up, the Zestimate's high too. And they're like, oh, well, you know, I didn't sell my house at 500,000, but Zillow says it's worth 475. And so I'm finding that Zillow will change it based on list price, but they don't know that it's sold because it's just a computer algorithm that does what it does. So like you could take a house that's, let's say it's worth 500 grand, you list it at $1 million, and Zillow will raise it up to, let's say, 700 grand, even though everyone in their right mind would know the house isn't worth it. It still is a computer, so it does that. So I give that example to a lot of people too. But another thing that I've been doing lately with those is I've been saving the Zestimate before I list a house. So when I get prepared for a listing appointment, one of the things I do is I get the Zestimate so I know what to talk to people about if they bring it up or just so they know. And I save that amount in my emails with my documents so that after I sell it, I could say I sold it for this much more than the Zillow predicted. Because like majority of the time they are lower, not always, but I think when they're higher, it's because of something in the market like that, where a neighbor listed really high or they listed really high and Zillow made changes. So I'm saving Zestimate amounts before I list it, because once you list it, then it changes it. Usually it makes it more like what you listed at, because sometimes that's accurate. So I'm definitely doing that. And I agree with you, Zestimates are ridiculous. But back to what Duana was saying, Duana, I emailed you a video that I have on listings, pricing listings and searching for comparables on the MLS. So I emailed that to you, Duana. But one of the important things when pricing a house is to ask the seller what they think their house is worth, you know, how much they want for their house. Hearing their opinion of what they think the value is really important before you start your analysis and before you go into an appointment with them to sit down and talk to them about it. If they think it's worth 500, then you're going to want to look at what's sold nearby for 500,000. So you can have something to tell them, and hopefully they're right. But if they're not, you're going to want to have examples. Well, this is what $500,000 in your neighborhood sold for. And where'd they get that information from too is my next question. You know, yeah, I think my house is worth about 500,000. Okay. You know, where'd you get that information from? How are you determining that? Oh, Zillow said it was 500, or my neighbor sold for 500 and my house is way nicer, just so you know what you're working with. But figuring out the value of a house, you really do need to go in and see it. You need to bring all your comps with you, and you need to know what you're walking into by asking them those questions before you meet with them in person. Hope that helps.
Awesome. Thank you. It does help. And yeah, nobody's ever said that. Nobody's ever said my neighbor sold for 500 and mine's nicer. Everybody's house is nicer than their neighbor's house. It's amazing how that happens.
We have granite countertops.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. And a lot of them, and guys, you have a lot of your clients know what they're talking about. And a lot of them absolutely have no idea. And a lot of them think that because something's priced, it was listed for, they'll look on Zestimate, their neighbor's house, and it's listed for 529. And they're not paying attention. It's been on the market for 120 days and it's not ever going to sell for 529. But they think, oh, well, that's the going rate. A lot of them think that's the value, because it says that's what it says up there. And remember, guys, if you don't like this estimate, which a lot of you guys won't on your listing, you can put don't allow third-party evaluations to show. and they won't show your estimate. Because there's nothing worse than listing something for 529. His estimate says 458, you know, when people see it on Zillow. Yes, Tammy.
I missed some of what you guys are talking about, but I go in and use Remine, because in Remine, it'll give you the Redfin, the one of the title companies, appraised value, you know, like estimated appraised value, Zestimate, and one other one, I think. So if I'm going to list, I always go into Remine and kind of look and see what those numbers are on there as well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Now, Remine also, they also give their mortgage, their estimated mortgage payoff too in there. It's not, I mean.
But I don't know if that's always right either.
No, it can't
yeah.
be. It can't be accurate. There's no way.
Yeah.
But at least it gives some kind of idea.
Yeah.
But it says how long they've owned the house and all that.
Realist has the estimated rent value now too. They just upgraded it. So they've always had like a home value, but now they have an estimated rent value, which has been helpful to me because I don't want to have to go do rental analysis when somebody's asking me approximately. So that's a good one too, and Realist.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments before we go? That has been a lot of helpful stuff, guys. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys have learned something from each other. And hopefully you've learned what to do when you have somebody from foreign national, and you guys know about all of the addenda they sign and the affidavit they sign and all that stuff as well. So I will.
Are we supposed to get that affidavit signed, or I know title
the
does.
title company does, but there's an addendum they sign now, and there's a title company thing. I'll go over that with you next week. But there's
I'm super uncomfortable asking these people these questions.
There's nothing to be uncomfortable about. It's a legal question. It's perfectly fine.
But you don't really know their nationality necessarily either, you know?
That's why they fill out the paper. And you wouldn't know if, you don't know when people are telling you the truth anyway. So you can do it. There's absolutely no fear of asking people what their country of citizenship is. That's a real question.
Okay.
Perfectly fine. And you do it no matter what they look like or sound like or anything else. All right. It's a legal issue for us now. So
Yeah.
you can't, don't get yourself in trouble trying to be.
Yeah.
It's not the way it is. All right, guys.
Tammy, you just got to throw it in there with how much money do you make and what's your credit score and what country you're from. Just get them all out.
Yeah, that's good.
All the hard ones.
That's a perfect one. Yes.
Yep. Yeah, get all those out. I mean, it's a.
What country are you a citizen of?
Yeah. Where's your citizenship? That's it. That's all that matters.
Okay.
Any other questions? Noemi's going on a cruise. That's great. You guys, I think she's inviting you. All right. Well, let me know if you guys need anything else. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Wednesday. We have a special guest next Wednesday, so we will see you then. Bye, everybody.